The hangar was blistering under the midday sun, the scent of oil and gunmetal hanging thick in the air. A row of young soldiers stood stiffly in formation, uniforms spotless, except for one. Sergeant Alara Hayes adjusted her beret, calm despite the whispers circling her like vultures. "Failed inspection again, Hayes," sneered Lieutenant Duran, his tone dripping with mockery. "Guess those special forces stories don't include how to shine boots." Laughter rippled down the line. Alara didn't flinch. Her boots were dusty, her rifle had a faint scratch near the sight, and her jacket bore a faint burn mark from an explosion months ago in Kandahar. She could have explained each flaw, each scar, but she didn't. Silence was easier. Duran circled her like a hyena, clipboard tapping against his thigh. "You think being transferred here gives you a free pass? Not in my unit." She gave a quiet nod, her voice even. "Understood, sir." "Sir," he chuckled. "You don't call me sir, Sergeant. You salute me when I speak to you." Around them, soldiers smirked. A few rolled their eyes. No one dared intervene. Alara slowly raised her hand, a crisp salute slicing through the heavy air. Her movement was perfect, too perfect. It was the kind of precision that came from somewhere else, somewhere far above the rank she wore now. Before Duran could fire another insult, a convoy of black SUVs rolled up. The laughter died instantly. Every soldier snapped to attention as the vehicle doors opened and a man stepped out, Colonel Marcus Wren, commander of the regional base, flanked by 2 security officers. His presence drew silence like gravity. "Inspection in progress, Colonel," Duran announced quickly, trying to sound composed. Wren's sharp eyes swept the formation. At ease, his gaze landed on Alara. For a moment, his expression froze. The clipboard in Duran's hand trembled slightly. "You failed this, Sergeant?" Wren asked, voice low. "Yes, sir. Improper uniform maintenance and you had no idea who you were talking to," Wren cut in. He turned to the line of troops, his tone clipped and commanding. "Every one of you, listen carefully. Sergeant Hayes is not an ordinary transfer. She was embedded with Task Force Phantom during Operation Vortex." Murmurs rippled through the ranks. Duran blinked, color draining from his face. "PH Phantom, sir. But that's classified." "Was," Wren corrected. "She led the extraction team that saved 12 of our men after their helicopter went down behind enemy lines." A stunned silence fell. Alara's eyes flickered briefly toward the colonel. No pride, just quiet acknowledgement. Wren stepped closer to Duran. "You were mocking a soldier who spent 3 days under fire without backup. Maybe next time, Lieutenant, you'll learn what real discipline looks like." He turned to Alara. "Good to have you back, Phantom 7. For the first time, a faint smile tugged at her lips. The hangar was silent now, not from orders, but from awe. The same soldiers who had laughed moments ago stood frozen, realizing they'd just witnessed the return of a legend. After the inspection, the hangar emptied, leaving only the hum of distant generators and the rhythmic clang of tools. Alara stood by the open door, sunlight glinting off the faint scratch on her rifle. She could still feel the weight of the soldiers' stares, their silence laced with guilt and awe. Colonel Wren's voice echoed from behind her. "Still keeping the rifle from phantom days, I see." She turned, posture straight. "It still shoots straight, sir. Can't say that about most memories." He gave a quiet nod, stepping closer. His eyes softened, just slightly. "You handled yourself well out there. I shouldn't have let that circus happen, but orders kept your record sealed. Even from me, for a while." Alara's jaw tightened. "Orders from higher up, you know how it goes." "Yes," he said, voice lowering. "But I also know they don't classify soldiers for bad reasons." He reached into his jacket, pulling out a thin, black folder marked "Eyes Only." The seal of the Defense Directorate glimmered faintly on its cover. Alara's pulse slowed. "I thought Phantom was erased from the system." "It was," Wren said. "But something's changed." Intelligence picked up chatter. An arms network operating under the same callsigns Phantom dismantled 3 years ago. "They're using your team's dead aliases." Her eyes darkened. "They're trying to resurrect Phantom." "Exactly." Wren placed the folder on the workbench beside her rifle. "We need someone who knows the original players, someone they'll believe is still in the shadows." Alara stared at the file, silent. The memories she'd buried, of burning safe houses, coded transmissions, the faces of people she couldn't save, rose like ghosts. "You're asking me to go back under." "I'm not asking," he said quietly. "I'm giving you the choice." For a long moment, neither spoke. The hangar door creaked as the desert wind swept through, lifting a swirl of dust between them. Finally, she reached out and opened the folder. Inside was a list of targets, familiar names crossed out, one still highlighted in red, Vortex Cell Remnant, Eastern Corridor. Beneath it, a surveillance photo of a man she once trusted. Her breath hitched. That's impossible. He died in the extraction. Ren's gaze hardened. We thought so too, but the photo was taken 6 weeks ago. Alara closed the folder, her hand steady but her heart racing. If this is real, it's not just a network. It's personal. Then I assume I have your answer, Ren said. She looked up, the quiet fire returning to her eyes, the same look that had once led soldiers through chaos without hesitation. When do I leave? 0600. You'll be off record again, Sergeant. No contact, no backup. Alara slung her rifle over her shoulder, the faint burn mark on her jacket catching the light. Just how Phantom likes it. As she walked toward the exit, the colonel watched her go, knowing the legend the others had only just discovered was heading back into the dark where she truly belonged.